Afternoon.
Any niggles, injuries in the squad compared with last weekend?
No. Should be as we were last weekend.
Purvis Estupinan, is he a player that you had your eye on for a while? What kind of player is he?
Attacking fullback. Yeah, we've been aware of him. The club's been aware of him, and I know of him. So someone we followed for a while. He has some attributes that we think are really useful for us, and looking forward to working with him. He's obviously just arrived, so he has to settle in and all that stuff that you'd expect, but first impressions have been really positive, so really looking forward to working with him.
Will he be involved this weekend?
Yeah, he'll be in the squad.
You've spoken in the past about South American players giving them time to settle in and culture changes and all that kind of stuff. He's obviously been in England before with Watford, but most of the time he was on loan. Will he need time to settle as well?
We'll see. It's a case by case. They're human beings, so you have to just judge it like that, and depending on the need of the team. But he's still coming, learning his new teammates, different style of play, different country, different league. But he has the attributes I think that can deal with the Premier League, no problem. So we'll just have to see how he goes. But like I said, we're looking forward to it.
His Ecuador teammate, Warrior J93, getting a lot of attention. There's speculation that doesn't seem to be rooted in anything at all, really. But what kind of character is he? He's very young and in a new country. Is it quite easy to sort of steer him away from that kind of stuff, so he can ignore everything like that? And just how good can he be?
As I've said before, if you sort of my quotes on him, he's a really humble person. Loves playing football. I would say really low maintenance as a player. It's just wants to join in his football with his teammates. He's really enjoying his football, as you can imagine. So he's only young, but he's got such a high possibility. I think we love him here. As for speculation, it is what it is. When the transfer window's open, you always get that stuff. But he's really enjoyed his football here, and we're really enjoying having him.
His rise has been so quick, hasn't it? Do you think almost it takes him by surprise?
Well, yes and no. I mean, I think he's been with us for a while, so we've been aware of him. And I think even before he got in the team, we were saying like we rate him a lot and we believe in him a lot. It's just trying to find that right time to put him in. And you look back now and think, well, maybe I should have put him in a bit sooner. That's always the consideration. But he's always impressed us, always aware of his quality, and as a person, just like I said, very humble. Just wanting to play football. So as a coach, he's a delight to work with. So it's happy for him that he's enjoying his football, and he hasn't played that many games, but he hasn't lost that many in the Premier League either. So he thinks it's maybe thinks it's a little bit different than it actually is. But long may that continue, of course.
Neal Maupay, is there any updates on him? And while there was speculation around what's going on, will he be involved in the squad?
No updates. So yeah, things happened on the day before the game a little bit, so we took the decision not to involve him, but he's trained all week with us, so I'll be in the squad.
Finally from me, just on West Ham, got an extraordinary record against that club since winning promotion to the Premier League. Why is that? Is it down to style of play and things just matching up really well? Is it a bit of luck, or is it a combination of lots of things?
Yeah, I have no idea. I didn't realise it was that strong. Whenever we play, I think in my time we've only won one against West Ham. I think the last game in my time, unless I'm mistaken. So that doesn't feel like such a great record. Draws, exactly. Yeah, I don't think we've lost so many, but we've drawn a lot. So I've got a huge respect and admiration for David Moyes, the first thing in the job that he's done there. And as a man, I have a lot of time for him. I like him a lot. Real football person. So whenever you play his teams, you know they're competitive. You see what they've achieved, what he's achieved. So they've had a tough start in terms of playing Manchester City, which is never easy, and then first game at the City ground all of a sudden there's 2 defeats and things can look a bit worse than they actually are. But experienced squad, experienced players, experienced manager. So we're ready for a tough game.
Hi Graham, just on West Ham, obviously last season they managed to get themselves into European football this season. We talk about leagues within a league. Are Brighton now in that same league as West Ham? Are they a direct rival now? Are you competing for the same things as West Ham?
Well, I think what you have is, apart from 6 teams, 7 teams maybe, everyone has to feel that they're holding 2 positions, which is make sure you get enough points to stay in the league, and then you have ambition. So if that's where we are. I can't really comment on where West Ham are in terms of where they see themselves, but that's where we see ourselves, and we see a lot of teams in that same bracket. West Ham have done really, really well for the last couple of years since Davies got in there. You know, they've invested quite a lot in terms of their squad over the years, and it's only since Davies got there that they've really had some success, I would say. So, you know, from our perspective, there's a lot of teams that are in the same boat as us, which is make sure you get the points, fight every day, every game for the points in the Premier League, because they're really tough.
You mentioned there, you know, a top 6, but we've seen results at the start of this season. Yourselves beating Manchester United, Liverpool, with a couple of draws against Fulham and Crystal Palace. Is it levelling up? Do you think that gap is closing across the board, and that more teams such as Brighton, such as Wolves, West Ham, and so on, can now put in a bigger challenge perhaps to some of those established top 6 teams?
I still think the gap is huge when you talk about the resources. Probably getting bigger, is it not? I don't know for sure, but from a resource perspective, I think it's still there. Again, and everybody's so different. I mean, you know, to compare, you know, us with West Ham or with Aston Villa, it doesn't make sense, because there's different things that they have and we don't have, and vice versa. So you can get yourself tied in knots, really, just comparing with other teams and thinking about whether you're like them in some way as a group of people that are in the top 6. It's just we are us. We do our best. We try and use what we have. Don't say that we're any better or any worse than anybody else because of our idea, but we just try to improve. It's probably the easiest way to look at it from our perspective.
It was touched on before that this record that Brighton has against West Ham, is that something, you said you weren't necessarily aware of it, but is that something that can come into play at any stage, psychologically or so? You know, you've got late goals against them before and so on, that if from the opposition point of view they're thinking this is a team that we can't seem to get a result against?
Well, I think that everybody talks about you know, it's a new season, a new team, they'll have made changes to their squad. Nothing really counts for what you did 6 months ago or 2 years ago or whatever time it is. It's be in the moment, focus on what you have to do to win the game. If there's some positive from our perspective that we've had a good record, then okay, but I can't see it too much, to be honest. On the flip side, if you've never won a game, then you can't go to Old Trafford and win. Anything's possible. So we've proven that on the flip side. So we just have to focus on the game and not worry about too much what's happened previously.
Just finally from me, it was talked about Neal Maupay before. If something was to happen with him, are you already on the lookout for potential replacements, and if so, would it be a like for like, or would you looking at bringing in someone who perhaps has different characteristics?
Not necessarily, because there's a lot to happen. You know, as I understand, I don't think Neal's desperate to leave. We're certainly not kicking him out the door. From a personal perspective, I can probably count on the one hand how many players that have helped me become a better coach, the same as Neal. So you know, what he's done for us over the last 3 years is clear. I don't think you can replace like for like, because the attributes are unique. You've got to always look for something else that can help the squad. But we'll do that anyway, regardless of any situation. We're always looking to see if there's something we can add to the group that will help the group, that make us better. But at the same time, we're really happy with what we have.
Thank you.
Greg, with Purvis's arrival, you're building up quite a South American contingent here, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to learn Spanish. Yeah, I need to.
Saying that, actually, with people like Alexis who've built up a time here now, it must help you knowing that when these people arrive, they've got people there who are going to welcome in. Jeremy, Julio's arrived as well. That must help you know that they might integrate better.
Yeah, there's a positive side to that, which is there's the people you mentioned that are there that can help each other feel like they can at least speak Spanish, they can talk amongst them, refer back to the homeland, or speaking the same the same language. But at the same time, what you have to watch is it doesn't go into there's a South American clique, and and that's the balance, and it's not that way at all. But I think that's all the guys are conscious of that, and we're conscious of that. So it's at the moment it's a nice balance. You have to respect the fact that there's people from the same sort of area, and that's nice. And then our guys can also benefit from that as well, because they can understand a bit more about South American culture.
In terms of Alexis, slightly different role for him this season so far?
Yeah. He's played there a few times last season, but obviously with Eves leaving, we looked at that. I think in the second half against West Ham, he played as the deeper lying player, did it really well. He's got the attributes to play there. He's very intelligent, can win the ball, plays forward, good understanding of the game. So he's done really well there. We're really pleased.
With players like him and some of the other players who've got potential of a World Cup, have you had discussions with them about that and how it's going to work yet, or is it just let's just concentrate on the Premier League and not, because obviously it's a massive season for a lot of them from that respect as well? Yeah,
I think that it's only my opinion, but I think the huge mistake they would make would be to think too far ahead in terms of the World Cup. Premier League matches is what's going to get you there. So focus on the now, be in the moment. It's a massive thing, and there's no denying it. There's a World Cup, and of course it influences people or affects people. But for our boys, they're very focused. They're very intelligent in terms of knowing, okay, how's the best way that I can get there in a good way. It's by really focusing on the now and helping us win football matches and performing well as a team.
Focus now is West Ham. Obviously, they've traditionally sort of been quite, I suppose, similar squad, similar team, but they've got a few new faces playing last night for their first win in Europe. What do you make of those new roles and maybe some different options for David at West Ham?
Yeah, they've added well, I think. A couple of injuries that have stopped them with the centre back, but they've added another one there. So it looks like they're building a squad that can compete and stay at where they want to be in the Premier League, but also compete in Europe. It's not easy to do. Obviously last year's semi-finals of the European competition plus a top 7 finish, was it, in the end? So they have to add the squad, and they've done it, I think, quite well. Forward looks like a different type of forward for them. Scamacca and Cornet we know well anyway, so some good additions.
Thanks.